your heart. You don't have to be afraid of what you are. And there's an answer if you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that you know will melt away. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, 'cause you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. It's a long road when you face the world alone, and no one reaches out a hand for you to hold. You can find love, if you search within yourself, then the emptiness you found will disappear. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, because you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. Lord knows things are hard to follow, but don't let anyone tear them away. Just hold on, and there will be tomorrow. In time, you'll find the way. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and then you cast your fears aside, because you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and then you finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. That a hero lies in you.
No, I'm just a support. She was there. We're alright. It's Yvonne and Kay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Alright.
Hi. I just spoke with you several times on the phone and
Yeah.
also email to say that we'd be coming out here from the adoption service. Can I have your names, please? I know you are. Is it all right?
Yeah.
Well, she'd rather be known as witness. She's just there for the support.
Okay.
Do I say?
Yeah, I'm Stephen Franklin. I'm a doctor, I'm a GP, but I'm
Okay.
not Michelle's GP, but I'm a friend of.
All right. Okay. Yeah. It's about. Oh yeah, Michelle.
The birth mum, Michelle. Yeah.
It is about letterbox contact, as I said to you on the phone and Facebook, and we've had contact from that was on. No, he put enough details about himself
All right.
and about his family. Because obviously, let me say something about
Sorry, which family is this?
his birth family,
Really?
adopted parents. They know they're adopted.
And obviously a teenager, you know, has got the means and to try and contact their birth family. Are they told not to do that?
Well, when they reach a certain age, they're allowed to. But you see, it's new now, isn't it? Before it was difficult. Now it's the social media.
Yeah.
So children will have access to it, mobile phones, or you know, computers.
Yeah.
So we do have a problem with Facebook now, you know, and the social media, because children will go on and search.
And Kim being told not to.
Yes,
contact
he's been told not to, but you know, he still went on.
by his adopted parents or by the adoption agency.
He was told by
So you've been told not to what?
not to go on to Facebook.
Yeah.
And I think I know he's actually done that. Also, when I looked at your profile, there was information from yourself on your profile.
Yeah.
You can read it, not to be exact, because again, you know, I don't want it to be just...
I haven't got anything to avoid, but I put more profile. I do expose what's happening to these thousands of children. I believe it's necessary in some cases with children, but at the end of the day, my sons are. I've never seen evidence if that's deliberate or not. And all I did was have a gravity. I've got my one closer.
Yeah, the reason why we're here is because it can be quite damaging if a child, you know, see information about certain things, because I know it wasn't just, say, a picture of yourself and holding it. I believe it was during the final.
That rather than have photos around the house of photos, but I can't handle having them about necessarily, so that's how I handle it.
But in terms of putting, you know, sort of misleading information on,
Misleading information.
regarding, you know, saying fraud.
That's not misleading. Providing the course of justice is fraud.
Okay. And also, previously, websites about him being kidnapped. I mean, that's caused a lot of trouble, you see, and that's why we felt the need to come out again. Because he used to have updated photographs.
Sorry, what was that information you called? Misleading information?
Yeah, that's he's kidnapped. Child is adopted, and then they look on and they see.
Put my walls closed.
They see that they're that potentially they've been kidnapped. It doesn't help with their. Do you know what I mean?
It's actually
quite disruptive.
illegally kidnapped. I was told that it was legally kidnapped. Yeah, we refer to it as illegally kidnapped.
We can't, you know, in terms of your letterbox contact, we can't be sure that they'll decide not to continue with it. Have behavioural problems when they find things like this, you know. You know, if you feel that you've been kidnapped and parents are looking for you, obviously it's going to cause problems in the.
But what you're saying is, Michelle has a picture of herself.
That's what I was told was on the profile. Holding
when he's
care.
very young.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And he's been able to access that.
He's been able to go onto Facebook and to see that his family is searching for him.
Yeah.
You know.
But is that on Michelle's Facebook that he's seen that, or on, you know?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether he's actually seen the profile, but
Because
it's there if he was to decide to sort of get that far. What he's actually got, what he's actually done, is put on Facebook and enough information about himself
for
his family to recognise that's him. And apparently somebody in contact with him, so he's actually had contact from someone.
If he's got this information, if he's seen the picture and contacted these people, Michelle's got no control over that unless it's something on her Facebook that he's accessed. If it's somebody else who's copied Michelle's information off her Facebook or something like that, she hasn't got much control over that, if any.
Well, you know, there's been the previous issue before where she's you know, she's had that photograph, and the profile is not helping because it's an updated profile. When did you last update your profile?
see your Facebook, Michelle?
No, the wall's closed off.
Well, if the wall's closed off, then that... Because if it is closed, how did it be seen? Others,
they saw it.
I've been able to see it, so somebody's been able to see the fact that
well,
there is a picture.
People know who I am, don't they?
Well, he knows who you are.
We get social workers for an hour.
He does know who you are. That's what we're saying. It's not a closed adoption, so he would have had your... Well, you see,
you may have that information. You know, I mean, I can't say for sure because I haven't seen what exactly he's got. But if I can't see it, I cannot see why it is harmful. We don't. I mean, we don't know that the contact is going to be shut. What we're saying is
there is. I wish that on them. You know.
No, there's potential.
It's interesting to know profile because if it's all blocked off,
it is blocked off,
right? Yeah. And people can't see it. Then I'm wondering what the problem is. To be honest,
I'm thinking that they've seen this information, but on somebody else's profile, not on Michelle's. You know what I mean? They've seen it on profiles, and that's where they've got it from.
Right.
And Michelle hasn't got that. You know, there's nothing Michelle can do about that, really.
Yeah.
It's not mental torture for Michelle.
Yeah.
Because he has been on.
Right.
I've just said he's been on.
Right.
And he's put enough information on.
Yeah.
So he's obviously tracing. He's trying to trace or trying to find.
Right.
His birth
But Michelle hasn't been in contact with him. So it's not Michelle's fault.
Well, he's got rights, especially age 13, he's got the rights to his own solicitor if he wanted to.
When he's 16,
but nobody would have told him that, will they?
When he's 16, he's able to look for birth family when he's 16.
Yeah, to express he can express his wishes, and if his adopters will support him in that, then he can make some moves to have some contact with you.
Yeah. And it took 12 months for me to hear that he wasn't ready, and I was being led to believe more. First of all, wanted to write to me.
Yeah. A difficult thing. I think the doctor may well have a bit
it's
of
very
knowledge of this, but it's quite a difficult thing to be diagnosed.
Yeah.
It tends to take quite a long time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not always obvious.
And especially at a young age, they tend to. So it may be that that's why. I mean, I don't know. I can't answer that, I'm afraid.
But I just feel about this. What's it doing to him emotionally?
What would that sort of thing do to a child, really? It's not a good thing, you know. Some of them have absconded, emotional problems, behavioural problems to do so good at school, lack of friendship. I mean, adopted children do have attachment problems anyway, even when you know, they don't have much disruption, let's say.
And that's from finding birth parents that they've absconded and that.
Well, no, not necessarily. Just generally, we're just saying generally that young people who have been through difficult early starts on lots of change, a loss, separation, you know, tend to be emotionally younger than their peers, but want what their peers are doing, but can't cope with it as well, sadly. Right? But there are things on
the FOR requests and things on it, so we know it goes well.
Yeah. But things saying that he's been kidnapped, or things like, you know, obviously that it's a fraud. But to accidentally come across that on Facebook, or to actually actively seek it on Facebook, will be very, very unsettling for him.
Would you think it would be more unsettling for him to know that now, or for him to know that in later years?
He's going to grow up.
Yeah, and he will. And at 18, he can have access to his files, and you know, obviously, you know, if he wishes to access you.
If he finds out this when he's 18, wouldn't that be more emotionally damaging? Isn't it better for him to know now?
Well, I don't know, because hopefully you'll be more mature in terms of things, more able to come to terms with whatever, you know, is written in the files, and whatever is said to him, that he will be in a better place. But at the moment, 18, he's deemed an adult. You know, it's much harder now for him to, you know, what we really want him to be stable, settled, and to get through the rest of his teenage years in a stable environment without as much upset as possible. You know, that's, I mean, I'm sure you want that. Yeah, of course you do. And that's what we're all aiming for, really. But obviously, it's on Facebook that they feel that access that may unstable, you know, destabilise it.
On Facebook.
That it causes a problem for the.
Looking at your Facebook anyway.
Yeah, and if
Why we're looking at her Facebook?
It may be because he's on
Been
Facebook
on.
himself, and obviously she's
But
concerned.
he wouldn't have
with
found her.
Sorry.
But he wouldn't have found her.
Also, I don't know whether he's found or not that it has been found. Something has been found, and it's shown a picture of you with
It's a picture
and
of you.
documents
When-
that have been posted
yeah.
saying about fraud.
During the final, you had that final contact with him apparently.
Well, I'm actually glad that the trace out that the fraud's been spotted. Because I'd never go on there and tell any always. Your fault when you're a child, and
And you're still being punished now because you're threatening to take letterbox contact off you.
We're not, we have no
Can't just
control
say
over that,
something.
unfortunately.
But
We
it's
just
all
make
Michelle
it-
keeps being dangled a carrot, and it is wrong. And
I've had to
I
push used against me, and Mum had been let down on the Section 47 investigation. I've got the full evidence of that. That was not investigated thoroughly enough. And there could have been children at risk there.
You see, I wholeheartedly agree with you. The child comes first, and I've seen her in a right state, and it's not on. It really is not. At the end of the day, Michelle has had things go on in her life, right? And a lot of it isn't her fault. Okay, she's not perfect. None of us are. And the thing is, these letters, Michelle is also under the impression he doesn't even get them anyway. So what? It's Michelle.
Everyone's told me they don't get them, none of
Yeah,
the children.
this is why I say you're dangling a carrot, because
I was
she
told that on the phone.
has been
They don't get the
writing.
letters through there first.
Yeah,
They don't get them directly off us, they're getting through the adoption
she's been
centre,
writing
aren't
to him for
Right, yes,
years and years
that's
and
right.
years.
Yes,
Now,
that's
they? I've never
there's
been, no, I know you
contact to her
did, but
son.
that's something I've never
And
been
now
told before.
you're coming out and you're
Serious
saying,
on
well,
that.
you know, this could affect him. Michelle's got rights as well, and if she wants to put on her Facebook, in a funny sort of a way, I don't understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but Michelle is right. And the internet gives you freedom of speech, right? She's allowed that. It's private, she's made it, but he can't see it, right? He's seen it, I don't know how, but anyway, it's Michelle's business, nobody else's. And I don't understand why she keeps being held over a barrel, because
Because
If
I've got too
letterbox
much on with the
contact-
county council, and because I do
if
plan to get
letterbox
all
contact
court,
is stopped,
that's fine.
right?
So there you go.
How is
With regards to the stopping of the contact, that is not our decision. Our decision.
That's
We're in the
punishment for Michelle?
Yeah,
for his
yeah,
error. That's
you
what
know,
it
If
is.
it happens, I
See,
should be
you-
getting it into court. I've
Yeah,
learned a lot more of my rights.
been told she's going to get
I've already
videos.
spotted a lot wrong.
She's had a letter stopped.
Yeah.
Right. The thing is, she's had no contact with. She hasn't phoned him up or gone on Facebook and said, "I'm your mother." I could understand. I would say, Michelle, you're totally out of order, even though she hasn't done anything wrong. She's done nothing wrong.
In a way, we know that. I mean, I've got another case where a child hacks into everything at school. She's clever these days.
Yeah, they
And
use
you can't
friends, they use all
guarantee
sorts
that
of
they won't
routes
get into
to
it.
access information online.
You
They're very
cannot
clever,
guarantee.
you know, at that.
No,
and
you
this,
Can't do it.
Yeah, you can
You
do it.
can. You can. I've done it. I've blocked people and.
But I suppose there's
Yeah,
nothing
but-
to stop them making up another account
Yeah.
and getting
yeah, this is the
information.
difficulty. It's the fact that there's some information. Therefore, he's fearful that he might do that. They're fearful generally that it might upset the placement, and because of that information that you've got on your page. Or, however, I mean, I don't know how it's accessed.
You can't get on
this,
the wall.
This is in his best interest at this
Oh,
time.
I
in
hope he
his life.
sees it that way when he's older.
Well,
Poor
he
kid.
may not. I mean, this is not necessarily what we recommend, because we think letterbox contact is usually a good thing if it's managed right.
Oh.
We don't want her to stop it.
And we will
Okay.
try.
We will try and do that.
Yeah, we don't usually say, okay, that's fine. Because
I know
it's
it
not in the
works
child's
for me,
best
that.
interest
Yeah.
not to get news.
Yeah.
If it is stopped,
That
I know
is
it works from here on. In fact, it will actually be doing
Yeah, I mean-
it forever.
That's all we can
So
say
are
to
you
you. Really.
relaying information back about it?
Well, we have spoken. Somebody is going to. Is
Yeah,
addressing
somebody,
it with her.
but at the end of the day, it will be up to her. I mean, we can't make her do it. You know,
Yeah.
it's only an agreement.
It's
It's
like
not a
an
legally
agreement.
binding document. The same way if Michelle wants to
It's really
stop-
hard actually, because in the paperwork
can.
it does say it's a legally binding document.
It isn't legally binding.
No, I think-
don't think
as-
so.
my understanding-
That's what's written in it. It's legally binding, and
It's just an agreement. It's not.
Legally binding.
Agreements are not really
In our paperwork, it says it's a voluntary agreement. Yeah.
It's just a
But,
voluntary.
you know, it may be able to be challenged, but I can't, you know, that would be up to you to decide. But
Oh,
at
yeah,
the
I'd
moment,
be challenging.
yeah, information that says that it's a fraud and that you know,
But they're not
the
lying.
photo of you. Yeah, well, that's it. You see, we've reached a sort of a bit of an impasse on that.
I would be telling always,
Yeah. It's just that
she's brought him up all his life. No matter what he decided, whether he decided to stop with her or decided in the future to come and live, whatever he decides, I don't want him grabbing up, hating either of us really.
No.
Having difficulties with children, they would normally come to us to say, do you know what I mean? I need support. But obviously, whatever it is, she's managing it, yeah, and that we're expecting. Do you know what I mean? Her to be able to manage, and some of them do. But we're saying that this could cause more disruption in the future if actually get access to the information on your profile. I'm not sure he hasn't, but
So
you know what I
it hasn't
mean?
really been investigated that properly at all, has it?
It has.
It has.
They
Or
tell
not,
you what
so they
he's
can it be
seen.
made-
We're not sure what he's seen. We know what he's put on, and we know what's on yours. Now, if he's gone onto Facebook, and he's looking for you, chances are he will find
Well, can
what's
he
there.
guess then?
And so that's what we're thinking.
Yes.
But we can't be sure that he's actually. Sometimes it's best not to. Do you know what I mean? Make a big deal of it. It's gonna be sitting a child down, questioning what have you seen, whatever. It's not. Do you know what a 13-year-old is not? That's not really the way we do things, really. So unless he says something, you're not going to be grilling him about it. It's not about.
So basically, what you're saying is.
Well, I was going to say, I should
it's
have
what
wasn't
Helen's
real
saying.
hard because it's natural, isn't it? When it's
Well,
so
yeah.
bad.
I mean, basically,
Even in being found himself because somebody got back to him. You know, how further can that go? You never
Well,
know.
I'm
if
not
he-
prepared to speak
do you know what I mean?
party information or
Goes any further.
with me.
people,
yeah.
That's
you know,
not being
birth
funny, that's
contacting
for
him.
you to speak
But
to
that
them.
will happen in any adoption case anyway, won't it? Anybody can contact children that are adopted if they're on Facebook.
If they're on, not necessarily. You're expecting more of it.
Yeah.
think
I
you
have
have
found
a
out
Facebook
it might be
account,
13.
I think it's 13 for a
Oh, is
Facebook
it?
account.
Yeah.
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 16.
We're having that coming up now because that's a fairly new thing. Social networking, social media. Perhaps it's been around some time. You know, computers and so on. iPods.
Well, I got a letter a few years
You know,
ago about
they're
it, stopping me
more
having
readily available.
I stopped having birds, so just found she was illegally kidnapped. I was in a right state. And somebody said, oh, well, I can put a pic on this site, mailing. The photos was going to be stopped. But I was given different reasons for it. I was told it was because of Facebook, and then I was told it was because of the lady's picture on that site. And I asked which one it was, and I wasn't given a straight answer as to which one it was.
I mean, it's very rare now that we allow left photos at all in any letterbox contact because
Is
of
it
social
because I think I'm
because-
telling lies about this fraud then?
Well, I mean, that part of it is not anything in terms of that, but the impact that it could have on should he feel that should he see or read that he's been kidnapped?
Can't it be communicated?
You can't
to
tell my
people
one
like that?
flat now.
That's,
No, this is what Dad wants. Excuse me, I need the toilet.
But Michelle doesn't think of him as being, you know, kidnapped by him. She's got nothing against him. You know, she wants one to stay in. You know, that can't it be communicated that, you know, shouldn't have any negative, you know, feelings about because of that.
You know, if a child feels that they're kidnapped and they shouldn't be in care anyway,
Yeah.
he probably don't even think about the legal system, social services.
Yeah.
He's only 13. He's gonna think, that's what I would think about if I was 13.
Yeah.
Adoption wouldn't come into it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't come into the fact that, oh, mum was treated unfairly
Yeah.
and maybe I was taken away when I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna come into his head at 13.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna see kidnapped. But, you know, he's going to look at being kidnapped by. Do you know what I mean? I don't think a 13-year-old would see it that way. It's going to be.
How's he going to see it though if he can't get on my wall and the others can't get on my wall? The only way somebody would be getting on my wall is if they're being deceitful and having me falsely, which would be more fraud, isn't it?
Yeah, but the thing
If he finds Michelle, let's just say he does find her, right, on Facebook, all he'll see is a photograph, he won't see nothing else.
Because that's not on there now. It's one with it's to do with being human incubators and the government getting money out for something like that.
So have you removed that photograph of the when you had final contact, because apparently that's what we were told.
I wasn't told that I had to.
No, but
that photo's been on there.
You've blocked that bit. You've said you've blocked that.
I didn't say I blocked it at all. If anybody saw on my wall, they'd see the background cover photo, which is the one about the human embryo thing, and there's a picture of a horse laughing on it.
But the picture you've got, they wouldn't be able to access that unless they were a friend of you know, on Facebook.
I don't think they would. I can check that out, but I don't think they would. If you look on my wall, I've already looked from over an outside could see it. You can only see certain things. There's things about cracks and a few things like that on Facebook.
Well, you know, if somehow...
Unless she's added me under a different name.
Yeah, I'm wondering that. If she's used a different name, how did you as a friend, because she's accessed it?
Nasty, to be honest with you. I can't see her doing that.
No.
But you see,
not how I know.
Whether she's heard from somebody,
somebody.
we don't know. We don't know how it's come about. But I think this is triggering. This is triggering.
But the thing is that if somebody wants to find out something, you know, they will find it. That's my, you know, that's what I think.
They can't. Not if they're not a friend. I'm interested to know how she's found it.
If social services are upset about his fraud on my wall, how come I'm not being taken to court?
We wouldn't take people to court in this sense, would we?
I don't know. I mean, we're only going from what's mentioned to us. So
I think we wouldn't really take parents to court. I've not heard of anyone taking. Just this is just an agreement. It's not a legally binding thing. It's an agreement between, because it's a procedure and it's part of adoption. Is that it's the minimum contact we allow. That's letterbox. As I said, we used to have photographs, but because of what it's like now, we've mostly stopped it because parents have been able to trace children through photographs. So
yeah, more did say.
So we have, so we have. They've limited that now, very limited. So it's mainly just letterbox.
But that picture in question was on there. It's been on there all along.
Yeah.
Even before this got brought into question before, when I took a complaint to a level 2.
I'm going to be honest, I do wonder if Michelle's being punished.
It said that somebody has contacted him to say, I've just said.
Yeah, I know. But I'm wondering if that's why Michelle's being punished, because but it's not Michelle's.
We don't know if it's a punishment at the moment, as I said.
But why should
she's not definitely decided, otherwise we wouldn't be telling
you. No, but it comes to a point where Michelle can't keep taking the blame for everything.
Let him. He decided to open. She told him not to. She advised him against it. Right. But what can you tell a 13-year-old, you know?
Very hard thing to...
Yeah, and Dad works from home and he's had to say he's had to lock his computer away. You know, they will... If they want to find something, you know, they will get into it. They'll find a way.
Yeah, I do understand what you're saying, but Michelle hasn't made any contact with him. Michelle hasn't made any contact with him.
Some of these children are wanting to contact.
Oh yeah, definitely.
She's gone to limits to make sure
that's what I was looking at to start with.
If another account,
that's what was being considered,
and gone onto Michelle's Facebook and seeing it through that way, then that's not Michelle's fault. That is Michelle's privacy.
I was asked, did you got into difficulties? And I said, yes, I was. Now, already, you're not coming into difficulties.
But if she's done that,
who told you that? People will tell you anything.
If that is what she's
done. Oh, that was social services that told me that, actually.
How can you see?
from our
Well, his drawings
From
was there.
adoption.
I got asked.
Well, then you won't get to
I asked
see
for an
them.
18.
feeding
So it was
out
the social worker that's
where
read
he
that,
lives in
yeah.
his life.
If it's not in writing, then
you know, it's fraud and there's
It's not- it's not
or
in
whatever.
If he
and
could see it,
you know,
Oh, I know that I received fraud documents.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
I
no.
took it, I know exactly right.
But Michelle
feel
has
that
all, and
you've
this is
been
what
treated
gets me in all
unfairly.
the social services.
Yeah.
because I know,
I really have been,
you
yes.
know,
Yeah.
you know,
I cannot believe the
I
half
mean,
what's come out.
yeah.
Not everything's on
She
my
had
first,
three
but
of the
what's come
children.
out.
None of
I
them
am
at all.
stupid.
Right.
And we're
She's
not
all
against
right
birth control,
Yeah.
you know, we're
And
not.
even though she's putting
It's
she's
just
got her own
that
bit of
we
private
try
life,
to
and
do
then she went
as
on
much as we
to
can to stop the discrepancies and the effect it can have on children. I mean, you yourself only have to
Yeah, I
think
can certainly see what you're
if it
saying.
broke down after
It does come first, and it's coming first.
If these letters, if they
Michelle's
show
doing
the
everything
information
she
I
can,
asked,
but she-
and these letters are stopped, I can see it happening then as well.
Contact more.
But then from another angle, if he's not getting to see the letters,
Every time Michelle's been put, it's all
I can't understand
I
this
didn't
is going to
say,
affect him if we
I
don't get
didn't
a
say,
letter
I'm
older.
not
I
saying
didn't
that
say
it's
he
her
didn't
fault.
get to see the letters.
Obviously,
What I
it's
said is that the
concern
letters
is
that
from
you
the
send
police
don't
that
go
it's ever-
It comes to the
I
adoption
know what you're
service.
saying,
We
but
manage
that
the
shouldn't be
adoption.
able to come across it.
I
So
know.
whatever you write, it
All I'm
comes
saying
to
is
the
obviously this
to
is the
Anne,
feelings that
and then
Michelle
it
has,
passed
and we've got
on.
no legal.
And
Way,
then
or
after
anyway.
it's assess it when they get older, they can
That's
actually
what I'm
get
That's for them to look at when they're 18.
Do you see what
They're not
Yeah.
actually passed
You
when
know.
he's older. But the information that you
It's all
send,
about
it
keeping
will be
advice all the time.
passed on.
Yeah, I know.
Actually say,
I
no,
know
he
you know that.
doesn't.
That's a
But
mother
he gets the
myself.
information. I'm trying to
She
say.
has
Well,
it.
Oh, right. Okay, I understand that now.
it's the same thing, isn't it?
What I mean is,
Not
she,
He does not. No, he doesn't get.
because when it's
doesn't.
social work,
I should imagine it'd be looked through
she has
first.
another social worker.
Yes, it's
No,
looked
no,
at,
I
and
can't
then
make
a
decisions
copy
on that, I can't do
is.
that. And I realised she was set up.
Oh, have you just
Yeah.
said about this where I've been set up then?
About a social worker
Yeah.
sat here and told me that they were setting her up. And I've written a letter. And my, but anyway,
So I've been
that's what
set up
Michelle's
all
so
along.
defensive the way she is, because all she's had of social services
It's
is
corruption.
rubbish, basically. I'll give you an example. She was on a contact the one day, and it was a very cold day, and she said to her, have your coat on. And he didn't like it, he didn't want his coat put on. And Michelle was, no, come on, you've got to have your coat put on. So anyway, she made him have it on, and it was put in the report. Michelle made him have his coat on, even though he didn't want it on. Michelle forced him to have it on. But if Michelle hadn't put his coat on, it would have been. It was a very cold day. Everything, and now that might sound pathetic. I mean, there was other things than that. But this is what I'm saying. All these stupid things keep coming towards her, and she keeps being punished all the time.
People are literal. I found social workers, they will write things down literal and they won't write the context in which things happen, and that really infuriates me. But people actually write that.
Yeah, I know they
They
do.
wouldn't have said, oh, you know, it was cold, and I think, you know, mum has actually helped him because he would have probably been very cold inside. You know, and some people write like that. I've had to question people as well in terms of what they say about
Well,
me.
Michelle's things was full of that. Absolutely full of it.
Some people are literal,
And that's how she, you know, lost
very
her son.
literal.
No, but that wasn't literal, because he was made to put his coat on. But it was a cold day.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it. And she didn't put the
Yes,
context.
She'd have been neglectful if she hadn't have done.
Yes, I know, but she didn't put that.
But the way it was worded was like, oh, she's a very naughty mother. She put his coat on.
The first social worker kept lying about me. She'd be sat in meetings with Mary Vance and the manageress. They'd be there like this. When somebody like the police turned up, that didn't happen. I went to Mary Vance and so did my dad, asking for her to be changed because of how that I was getting treated. So it weren't just a case, oh, mother don't agree with her. I was getting badly treated. I got to the point of saying to Mary Vance, I feel like I'm going to end up hitting a discarded hand. I don't like being lied about. I'm trying to go honestly for my son. I know I was honest. It wasn't Mary Vanson's responsibility as her manageress. If there's problems, especially when you've repeatedly said it. So what happens in the end, I ended up assaulting the social worker. I felt that pushed in the end after having her for 2 years, putting up with all this. Then I put in a complaint and that come back, oh. No paper was asked individually, but I wasn't given individual accounts of what everybody said or I'd mentioned in it from the other side. But, and it come back that, you know, basically this complaint was no good. I don't think Mary Bonson should have really took her off the case. In fact, I know she should have done that because I've researched it, you know. She had a lot to answer for. At one time I just found a social worker, but now the manageress should have took her off for the good of our staff and for their parents' family as well. I mean, I wasn't helping any more children having all that, never known what it was doing to me.
See what they'd do, the kids had finished school at say 3 o'clock. They wanted her in Bromsgrove for 3:30 for a contact. She can't drive. And she had to rush from school to school. Debbie would be phoning her up. Shal, what are you doing? You've got to come up right now.
Then straight after I had a last call, asking me if I wanted to go and ski. It's got to be within a day. It was so much cheaper. It was really close when I just last ski. And I said, well, all the family are upset, we're all grieving at the minute. You know, all my kids were crying with me. It was like being in a morgue. So I said, but I do want to see, just not right now, you know, we're all upset, coming to terms with this. So I think it must have been about a week later, don't quote me on it, but shortly after I got asked. And all my windows was out at mild house. Now, some of them was big windows, but even if they'd have been this size, all my windows was out. That got very vague, but I didn't want to see it, I didn't want to go to contact. And then the next thing, I'm getting a visit, just to totally stop my contacts, and that should have gone back to court, that was done wrong. I didn't get invited to meetings or nothing, and I'll still have parental rights for another 2 years until that adoption went through. But I didn't like at all. It's amazing what I found out, actually.
The judge actually said...
The judge actually said it was nothing short of fraud.
Yeah.
So I'm not telling any lies when I say about his fraud.
Yeah. Can you understand now why she
So I was supposed to have done work with my oldest son, they hadn't done it. Those both very experienced professionals, and they hadn't done it. And for them to carry on being on the case, well, it was only ever going to be boss, wasn't it? The judge was seriously looking at Kay. He was seriously considering it.
It looks like another punishment. I know it's you're only conveying what somebody else is saying, but it's yet another punishment that now you can't write to your son because of your private life.
You can write.
Well, we never discourage you from writing. I mean, obviously at the moment we can't guarantee that we'll be forwarding it on, but it will be kept on the file, and it will be kept. But I always suggest that you keep a copy of anything you send with regard to letters, and you keep a memory box.
You know, even my children's there, because that's
some sort of memory box is what we always recommend, because obviously if it's come back, you know, does want to find you, then you've got it all there as well to show him, and equally it'll be on the file. You know, should he access it when he's 18? You know,
to be honest,
keep copies of them on file.
I've even got the paperwork before. I got all social services files back and or whatever files I've got. I've kept everything.
I'm not sure that
stays what to say.
I'm not sure that we are going to say we're not going to pass on any, providing you know you write as normal and that it doesn't have any personal information. I haven't been told about your letters.
It was read out as an example.
I'm just trying to tell you what I know is that, as far as I know, your letter is fine. We're not sure about the adopter's letter to you. Yeah, that's what we're not sure.
So my last letter's okay.
I feel that's okay.
Yeah.
And as Gay said,
because I just wrote about the
use, but she may not.
Will I get it in writing?
What
the outcome from this? Because that would logically fall after
what outcome?
Like if it's going to be sacked or if it's continued or whatever.
We're not sure. We, as I said, it will be up.
No, I know that, but we'll all get a letter
we're not trying to,
from yourselves.
We're not trying to hide anything, honestly. We come out to you and we're only telling you what we've been asked to tell you, sending anything to you.
That's what I'm asking for. Can I have that in writing? Or the outcome of that is?
We don't know. I mean, we try not to make things too formal in the letter. Yeah, I mean, if she should categorically state that she's not going to send it, I mean, I don't see that there's any reason why us not writing to you to confirm that she's told us that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think there's any reason.
Because he's used to getting them letters.
Yeah, we keep it up.
It's not easy though, is it?
I haven't.
So we don't know.
So.
We tend to liaise with the doctors. Our role is more to help, advise, and liaise with the doctors, not directly with the children. You know, that's what the adoption service does, or our adoption support part anyway. We do occasionally have contact with
And I didn't want it to come to that, I really didn't. She'd been my social worker for a couple of years. I tried to get on with her like in a working relationship sort of way. Sorry mate, come out Sarah.
It's alright.
And I've got evidence of that. That got sent on social services. They just told me I was too late. Nothing about, oh we need to speak to her. I definitely think the manageress should have been spoken to. And there was nothing about that, so it wasn't just me, but then it ran into court, oh Michelle's a monster, she's done this, that and the other. She'd actually pushed other parts of the same, and I believe it might be up to 5. Now I was the first case, the judge described her as inexperienced. There was up to 5 did that. Now I'm not saying it's right, but what was she doing to them parents? Was she deliberately setting them up to do that? Because when you get time off on the sick for that, you still get paid, don't you?
Well, you know,
it's really bad, you know.
Your own kids got frustrated because this one social worker said that Michelle's feeding them beans on toast every night.
I made her come back to my house and I smelled
I'm going to put that right. He was really annoyed about it. And
I go to speak to my son on his own. She said, can I go upstairs to ask him? I said, yeah. So she ran up and I smelled his son and she come down. I said, right, you happy now? I was actually cooking things like steak, potatoes and veg every night because my oldest son was into doing weights and he has to steak every night. I won't say it was the best steak, it was value steak, but I was actually cooking very healthy meals for them. I cooked from scratch. But for my children I cooked from scratch because there's times I couldn't afford to use all the things, ready-made stuff, and it tastes better anyway cooking from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, you know, especially for you, and you know,
it's because I haven't been on me, so that's when they'll always come in there.
But we do accept it's been difficult as well, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult for everybody in a situation like this because obviously, you know, that's why, you know.
But Michelle did do her best.
Yeah, you know, I can see, you know, obviously you've. You know,
can you say more on the way?
Yeah, I can see, you know, from your point of view, how difficult things have been, and why, you know, why you could feel that this is another knifing, really. You know, I do acknowledge that.
I thought you're going to be like my first social worker, and then I just thought you was just going to come out and be like the way that she'd been. But I mean, I'm always
try and get a visit.
Whatever I put on my Facebook, I'm always careful anyway. I make sure that I tell the truth because I know that social workers get it up, and I'm not a dishonest person anyway. Do you want to contact me? That's something that I've been concerned about. I wouldn't know what to say.
Yeah. Well, if he should make some contact with you, I mean, you know, ideally we'd like you to come to us in the first port call. I know that's going to be difficult with the history that you've told.
And what he comes on and says, you know.
Well, I would, you know, first of all say, you know,
that's what I thought was saying.
Aware of this because you've got to, you know, we need to talk to.
It's trouble if I say that.
No, if he makes contact with you and you ask, I mean, what we would, you know, this has happened.
Will there be any work done, just looking out for other families as well now? Will there be any work done, so as other families are aware that should their child contact them, in the first instance, let's give the adoptive parents are aware that they're making contact and to tell them that they'll need to speak to the adoption centre first?
Not directly because there's so many of them. And
But I honestly, on my life, have not contacted.
Well, I know because he would have told them.
Well, I would assume he would have mentioned it.
He would
have if he'd have done something like that. But yeah, I mean, yes, I can see what you're saying, and that's something that we could perhaps think about. But you know, there are quite a lot of obviously birth parents. There's a lot of adoptions. I mean, we do have about 400 plus letterbox exchanges going on. Some birth parents obviously are a positive risk, you know, in terms of, you know, the adopted child, you know, in more physical than as well as anything else. So, you know, that is something obviously we don't want.
Yeah.
We try and
I
encourage the
understand that.
doctors to be open, to supportive with their children, and to, you know, to be open about their adoptions, come back through us. So that it's more of an open thing, because teenagers are curious. There's no doubt about it. You know, we'd all be curious, wouldn't we? I'm
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. Say that they can't get directly on my wall. There'll be little bits that you can see, because to totally block it, I wouldn't have a Facebook account, but I have got it closed. So.
Check that probably, won't you, Michelle?
Yeah.
You'll check that it's.
If you can check your settings.
Private.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. For him to write to me before. She said, I'll see if he can write some bits, and that's why I find it all a bit strange. Would have been happy for that. She would have been happy for him to write to me.
Yeah.
She was happy for you to have videos at one point, weren't she?
He's happy to consider it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
There
I
are
think I was
times
meant to have
when-
asked, and then I did,
Yeah.
and that all come in with all that fraud stuff.
Yeah, and there have
yeah.
been some difficulties
Other
with
things.
regard to that have obviously made her more wary, and the social networking has made all adopters much more wary.
Can you imagine though, you get told that your child's illegally kidnapped, you've had the whole process explained to you all. I felt really sick, you know.
Yeah.
So when somebody said, oh, well, about having this picture,
In Michelle's defence as well, no matter, I know what she's putting on Facebook, but like I've said, that's her private life, and people shouldn't be able to get on it to rent a friend. But not only that, as known from the time that she's had no problems whatsoever off Michelle. The only time she had a problem was one night. The police called Michelle and said, "Is and Michelle said, what's going on?" Because it was like quite late at night, wasn't it? And they wouldn't tell her nothing. She explained to him, so they wouldn't tell her nothing. So Michelle said, "Well, you phoned up and she put the phone down on you or something."
Yeah. And that's the only time that she lied.
And then
Lied to the
Michelle
courts
tried
and said
phoning
that
her
she
back,
called me
and she
back.
didn't ring her back. But that was the only time, because Michelle was concerned about Gladly. That is the one time, apart from
I was
that,
actually going to
she's never
say.
had no problems off Michelle.
The decision of
knows
adoption
Michelle
had been
had
made,
enough to
it was the rubber stamp to that point.
She knows.
I was
Michelle
actually
is
meant
always-
to
she
be
does
adopted at the end of
always
that.
has put in
I didn't
words.
know that I was meant to be
But
in
there
thoughts and
comes,
meetings and
you
everything
know,
else.
there's got,
I didn't find that.
you know,
That's
I mean,
right,
she's
the
got to be
apologies
able to
thing.
be- and she's got them feelings there.
I don't understand.
You do still
that.
have them feelings there that you're their man. I mean, that is really natural. I still feel like that I'm his man. I feel like he's got two mans to me. It's telling me writing from Michelle, and I said, no, that's not so natural to me. It used to be Tommy, since he's got older, I've changed it to Tommy.
Yeah, sometimes we put adopters put like Mum Michelle or something like that rather than.
That would be better, because
rather
that's
than
it is
sort
cool.
of- But for some adopters are more I don't know, get more upset with different wordings than others. Some are more accepting.
I can see that from both sides.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
so it's a case of really what
Balancing
works best for isn't the case, because that's not what we think is the best thing. We'll
Okay.
actively encourage her to continue it from our point of view, but that's all we can say.
Because
Are
it
you,
is all
but
about
which
killing
one's the
his
manager
interests.
then? How are you two the manager then?
Neither of us.
Oh, ain't there?
No, our manager's at work. So,
Oh, I just thought one of you know what about.
no. But, okay. Well, you know where we are anyway.
Yeah.
You've got the number. Is there anything else you wanted to ask about the...
Just how long it should be before I hear anything back, or roughly.
I don't know at the moment.
I mean, could it be a couple of weeks, a month, anything?
I'm not
asking you to swear exactly when it is, but roughly.
about time scale, Michelle.
I don't know. Do you know who...
I ain't got you that worried, have I?
Speaking
I don't really know. We've
to say you'd know within sort of a month's time or so, but I can't guarantee that because
Okay.
you know. But by all means, if you want to leave it a month, and give us a call,
Yeah, okay.
and then see
If I've heard nothing.
Yeah.
or if she
Yeah.
sent a letter.
I don't worry, like, because I just know it's once a year around about that time. I ain't got a strict time when it got. I'm just happy to
it's
get
good to be
those when I get
flexible.
it.
Things get in the way, and things don't always happen dead on
Well, you want
time.
to say May when it's coming up to, because I have till the last October, and I'm told if that's in, that is it. So I'm making sure it's in, because I've been told it'll be stopped all together I've been told that before, and it stopped altogether with that letter then in, or that last day of the month.
Yeah, because they're very strict on the birth parent.
They are.
In fact, I thought we were fairly flexible, but anyway, on both very often. But a lot depends on.
Fairly flexible, I would say. I mean, even when we've had parents writing inappropriate letters, I've had to go out. You know,
Anyway.
you know, we do. As I say, we it's very important that the letters come in. So even if a letter comes in that we can't pass on, we still go out and encourage the family to write it properly. We give them a chance to do a second one, because it is important that they know that the family is okay. And so we don't do this kind of thing willy-nilly. And as I said, you know, we said to you before, we're hoping that we'll continue to send that.
Well, I'll be the one that went up, wasn't even his latest picture.
Yeah.
When OCD, or I've got the possibility that I've got it, so mould OCD, because the psychiatrist was made to diagnose me and said if there was anything. It might be that she's got OCD. He hasn't even definitely said I've got it, but the judge was adamant he wanted a decision. The short time, so emotionally unstable personality disorder, I did CBT and I passed that with flying colours. I didn't have it. By then the damage is done because you're took to court for it, and then it's dragging on, they're saying, oh, it's getting out of time scale, and I didn't even have it.
Yeah, it sounds like a really.
That held it up about another year, and I didn't have it. And in fact, I went to the forced adoption conference and there was a sort there, and he said, right, hands up you parents who's been diagnosed with personality disorder. So about half the room put their hands up, and just in the whole 20 years I've been doing this work, I've not diagnosed one parent with personality disorder. There's a lot of parents getting diagnosed with it who haven't obviously really got it. My case should have ended there. No, my name on that, but the judge found fraud in the case. If it wasn't for that, I could have been just thinking, oh well, I've got this emotionally unstable personality disorder that I haven't got.
All those sort of things, they're just a matter of opinion. There's no definite way you can diagnose.
Well, they cover themselves by putting, we think she's likely to have it, but it's just so funny because there was 4 professionals saying I had that, that they agreed that there's a chance I had that, sorry. One of them was one of the top 10 psychologists in the country. But there was 4 professionals agreeing that could be what I had, and I proved them all wrong. But it still didn't get me anywhere, did it?
No. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye, Michelle.
So you won't be needing to come out to me again now?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. No. You'll see us again.
No.
Thank you.
I thought that went quite well, really. I understood where you were coming from, you know.
Yeah. It hasn't gone too bad because they're trying to keep it going.